everybody. So, I know we're a little early when it comes to our live that we typically do. Oh, sorry, Rowan. That's my dog. That we do at 7. But I am having really amusing technical difficulties. And I used to, when I went live, I would go live on Instagram and Facebook, and then I would download those videos, and then I would edit them, and then I would upload them to YouTube. And so I kind of did a workaround by just going live on YouTube and then just having that video automatically saved, which worked really well until my microphone stopped working. And then my MacBook was like, hey, you need to do this iOS update, which I did. And now my microphone is working and my YouTube camera isn't working on the live on my MacBook, which is really annoying. And I've been trying to figure it out for like the last while, and I haven't been able to figure it out. So my setup is kind of funny. I am doing live here on YouTube on my phone, and then I have my iMovie camera recording, which is working. So I guess, I don't know. I'm going to play with how this video turns out. None of that really makes sense, but it is what it is. So, this past week has been interesting for me. I don't know if you all have been getting our updates as of yesterday on our social media, Facebook, Instagram. But my shop building, that is where it's like on the corner in our shopping strip where my store is located. Our shop building has been listed for sale. I don't own the building. Now, I do rent the unit right next door, and we have like interior doors and an exterior door. But I do rent that next unit that is our community space. And I started renting that a couple years ago. So I have 2 different landlords, for one for the shop and one for the community space. And thankfully, that's the setup because my landlord that owns the store is selling it. And this happened very fast as far as when I found out it was even a potential possibility to the building being listed. And now there's like 2 showings tomorrow. And I don't know what my timeline is with having to consolidate and move my retail setup, but my plan is to condense some things and move my shop into our community space so that we still have our classroom space. We still have at least 1 additional suite. We have 4 now, but 1 suite for readings and Reiki, and then have the retail setup all in 1 space. So, and it seems kind of excessive when I kind of think about it, but I presently, with the 2 separate spots, have about 7,500 square feet, which is a lot. I know, it's huge, like a million times bigger than my house. The shop space is about 4,500 square feet, which part of that is workroom in the back. And then the community space is 3,000 square feet. So I will be moving everything into the community space. And things just won't be as like spread out, and I won't have like an art studio and storage for all the things that I've just kind of held on to for the last 7 years that I've been in that space. This is my 15th year of business. It's definitely an accumulation of a lot of things over the years. So I'll be downsizing and streamlining for sure. But I don't know when the required or necessary final like move out date is, because the building has just been listed and it hasn't sold yet, but I don't know any of that. So that's been an interesting part of my week. And then these funny technical difficulties, and I say funny because that's the nice way to say it because it's really annoying. That's been interesting. And so I wonder, with you all, like, how's it going? Are things kind of topsy-turvy in your world as well? Or are things like okay? I mean, I hope they're okay, right? I mean, and even in my life, like things are okay. It's just all of a sudden there are a whole lot of pieces that have kind of exploded. And I'm still trying to figure out how to get them all back together. And we're just going to roll with it. We are right in between the new moon and the full moon. The full moon will be coming up like next week, I guess. And so, yeah, I'm just going to roll with it. So I hope you can also roll with it if things need to be rolled with. So, I was kind of almost like testing the energy update on my phone because I was having issues with it on my laptop. But I don't know. I guess since I'm doing it, I might as well go ahead and continue. I have one person watching right now. So, I guess, yeah, on my phone, I haven't done this on my phone in a while. And I guess I can see comments if people do comment on my phone. It's just a little bit of a different setup than how my computer works. So I have my holographic Rider-Waite tarot cards. I'll give these a good shuffle and we will see what comes through, what will be some helpful information and helpful information for all of us, for the collective, not just for me. So I am part of the collective just like you are, but I don't want the energy that comes through, I don't want it to be like just about what I'm personally going through, you know, with my store and stuff. I want it to be a helpful message for everybody. So let's see what we get. And we will take it from there. So, helpful information for the current energies, for anyone feeling drawn to either be on the live or to watch this video. What do we need to know? Okay, little jumpy jump here. So we have 7 of Pentacles. And 7 of Pentacles, there is a bit of observation of, you know, the work that has already been done and what is coming into being harvested. Okay. And there is a little bit of, it's like you're not done, right? You're not done with the work. You're not done with you haven't met your goal. But it is kind of a time to check in and see, like, you know, what you did, what you've done, what is kind of coming to fruition, you know, your level of progress. But we're not ready to completely harvest, and we're definitely not ready to say, I'm calling it a day. But it could be kind of a break just to kind of get that check-in, right? So let's build on that. Pentacles, of course, always have to do with like the earthly realm, whether it is an abundance of money, an abundance of things, you know, our resources, our finances, and it can be our health as well. So maybe just kind of let yourself do a little bit of an internal mental inventory of those plans that you've been working on, that you got started, kind of just the check-in. Where are you at, right? And sometimes when we check in, it's not like we're necessarily judging ourselves or saying, you know, I'm so behind or I'm so far ahead or whatever. It's just that check-in to see, like, if you need to make any modifications, if you maybe, if things are turning out, you know, like you thought they were going to, or if you might need to do a little bit of a shift or a change to maximize your yield, right? Maximize what you're going to eventually harvest. All right, so what else do we need to know that will be helpful at this time for the collective, for anyone watching now or anyone watching the recorded video later? What do we need to know? The Hermit. And the Hermit is a Virgo card. The Hermit can call us to kind of like go within and really find the wisdom centering, I already said wisdom, but that comes up again, that is within us, right? To kind of tap into our own inner knowledge, our own wisdom, resources, insight. And it's just saying that you're possibly better equipped with the information, with the know-how than maybe the external world, or other people's opinions or thoughts or whatever, right? Now, the hermit also, he has his lantern there, which is his guiding light, illuminating the path. And I feel like this is reminding us that even if we feel like we don't know what we're doing, or, this is our first go round on this path, that we can even access our experiences, our knowledge, our know-how from other parts of our life that give us that experience and that knowledge, even if we've never actually done this thing before, right? We have our street smarts. We have our just life experiences. We have our maturity. And sometimes it's like relaxing and trusting in that and knowing that that's going to get us through, even if we don't know what the answer is yet, even if we don't know what the solution is, right? And I feel like that there is a trusting, energy to this, because the staff that the hermit is holding on to, that's keeping him steady, keeping his balance. The light and the lantern is, leading his way. And he's really focused more on the light and then what is being illuminated by his lantern. Then, he's not like crawling over the, kind of rocks. He's just taking one step at a time. And I feel like that is an important message with this card as well, is that you don't have to have from point from point A to point Z completely mapped out or figured out. That you might just do best with, I'm just going to take one step and see where that lands me. And then I'll take another step, right? Sometimes our path almost kind of like unfolds with each step, and we don't have to know all the pieces. We just trust the process. Okay. So let's see what else we get. And then perhaps we can kind of pull this all together. Okay. I just got a manicure today, and I can't shuffle these cards worth of crap right now. I'm having issues. Just baby steps. Got to relearn how to use my hands. All right. Judgment. Now, Judgment was reversed. But I kind of pulled it weird. So we're going to look at it this way first. All right. So the Judgment card is... this could be, of course, like feeling like you or a situation that you're observing that's kind of showing up in your reality on your radar for like a vicarious learning, lesson, that there is kind of like karma, energy exchange in play, that is, I want to say like a reckoning, like, it's kind of like, it's no surprise really how you have found yourself where you're at right now. Now, there may be surprises or things coming up that you did not necessarily anticipate, like detailed, a detailed, this is exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, whatever. But it makes sense. There is you have an understanding as to why things are happening as they are, or being exposed as they are, or the energy is kind of dividing and shifting, and there's kind of this diversion in the path. And it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I get it. You might not like it, but you get it, right? And I feel too that, this is an angel, here. It's kind of like, it's like the, everybody's like going up to heaven or whatever. I mean, that's kind of the traditional imagery with this card. But this is kind of like inventory, but a different kind of inventory. It's like what you're spending your time doing, what you have been spending your time doing, what has value to you up until this point. And then not being morbid or whatever, but like if you were to die tomorrow, or if I were to die tomorrow, do you think that you'd be like, yes, I kind of did everything I came to do in this lifetime, or I'm satisfied with how I spent my time, how where I put my energy into these different things or into these different projects or people, relationships, whatever it is. And if you feel that if you were asked that question, if you had not a future opportunity to keep living your life and to get caught up or to change directions or whatever, would you be satisfied with kind of what you've done up until this point? And the answer is no. I've gotten way off track. I've been sidetracked. I've been having to or forced to or choosing whatever it is to focus on these other things, but it's really not important, or it's a waste of time, or it's a waste of energy, or whatever it is. Then that's a very apparent and clear answer that maybe you do need to shift something in your life. I mean, unless you just want to keep doing what doesn't really work for you, or what is just kind of taking up time and space, in your life. And I can say that for me, there has been like a theme of streamlining, downsizing, getting rid of material possessions and just stuff that I'm not using anymore. Like in my home a lot. Did that over the last couple of years, and it feels so good. And yet it's like in my shop, and it's not like it's not just like trash. No, I do have some stuff that people might think is trash, but I like recycling things. I like repurposing things. That's my justification. But it's like I have tons of art supplies and, fabric. I love fabric. And paint and things like that it's like, it was from some project in the past, or maybe someone was moving like, hey, I've got some extra paint. Would you want it? I'm like, sure, I've got the room. Like I could maybe use it for something. No problem. And I have I love being able to kind of recycle things, and it's a lot cheaper too sometimes. But I have found that like in my shop, because I have so much space, that it just kind of accumulated stuff. Right. And so whereas I was feeling very called over the last couple years, to really like streamline my home and streamline how things are stored and all of that, I have some, but not completely. I did not complete the project of streamlining all of my possessions at the shop too. But now that I'm having to move out of one space and condense it down into just 3,000 square feet instead of 7,500 square feet. Wow, I know, right? Well, it's time for me to do that. So, that's just, I guess, an example in my life, right? So how is that kind of, presenting itself in your life? And it could just be when we think of energy, it's just like, where is your energy going? What are you focused on, right? And is it like, as you, as the day comes to a close and you're ready for bed, how did your day go? And I know sometimes days are like, they fly by and you're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't get anything done, or like I don't feel like I have anything to show for it, but I was doing stuff all day. And that's just sometimes how time flies by. But is it that you feel like you came here to do more, and you feel like you came here, meaning as a human on earth, to do certain things or experience certain things, but you're just like going through the motions, right? And like, that's okay. That is an experience of just kind of like, it could be going with the flow, but it could just be like going through the motions, it's not great. It's not horrible. It just is. But if there's something different that you want to experience, you can choose that at any time. And yeah, sometimes, we have to like let go of some stuff or say, I'm not going to spend my time doing that stuff or focusing on that because I want to prioritize these other things. And we do have to make the shifts. Or sometimes we just start focusing on the good stuff, on the stuff that we want to do, the stuff that we're feeling really called, led to focus on where we want to send our energy. And when we do that, that magnetizes, our energy, and those things, endeavors, people, situations, opportunities, things, magnetize with that, and they're in resonance with each other, and the other stuff falls away if it is not in the same vibration of you, basically. And then the things that you surround yourself with, or the opportunities or people you surround yourself with. So sometimes it seems very overwhelming to be at a place that you're at in your life and know that you want to be experiencing something differently, and you don't see all the steps. You don't know how you're going to cross the Grand Canyon of life to get from where you're at to where you want to go. And it seems very overwhelming. And sometimes it's like, well, I'm just going to give up. I don't, there's no point in even trying. I'll just stay miserable over here on the side or just try to make do. But you can, with that, almost like trust in your higher self, in the universe, in you having, and it doesn't have to be like solving some crazy disease or ending world hunger or whatever. I mean, it could just be experiencing like a very concentrated quality life of experiencing a certain energy, a certain emotion. You came here to experience freedom. You came here to experience unconditional love. You came here to experience creative, artistic expression, whatever it is. And it's just acknowledging that for yourself and aligning with that, and then saying, okay, universe, my higher self, source, however you want to say that, however you align with God, basically the universe. It's just like, cool. You can see the big picture. You're all knowing, all encompassing. I'm a bit overwhelmed with all of the details, so I'm just going to focus on and align with what I want to feel, what I want to experience, and just trust and surrender to the flow of all that is, and let the universe sort it out. Of course, you can't just like sit on your butt and not do anything, especially if those things are coming through as like intuitive nudges or opportunities are presenting themselves. You're like, no, I'm going to let the universe work it out. I mean, you could just stay in a hammock or on a park bench for the rest of your life and, miss out, right? We still have to take action. We still have to step into, but it's not like we have to put a stranglehold on our destiny. We do not have to piece by piece and, moment by moment, make things happen. We should be happening with it. We should be flowing with it. So, hopefully you can find yourself in the balance of when it is time to be still and to listen and to just be guided, right? Inspired. And then when it is time to take action. And that is embodying the energy of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the projective and the receptive energy. And we have that combination of that within, us as each person. And there are certain situations that call for a more receptive, still energy. And then some situations that call for a more, action-based, more action-based. So it is just kind of being a little more graceful to be able to step into one energy or the other, to lean into that one or the other, and not being like rigid in one way or the other, or being stuck and being in a limbo, right? But sometimes momentary pause, even if it's for like a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever, sometimes that's just like a pause before we do make that shift, right? But the more that you kind of just like surrender yourself to the process of how energy sorts itself out, then you won't be infusing the situation with frustration, with stress, with worry, with anxiety, all of that. It'll be more just like trusting, like, yep, I'm still keeping my eye on the prize. I am still focusing on, what I want to experience next and kind of how that feels or what I want to feel. And then I'm going to trust that those things are going to fall into place, and I'm going to know when to take action on that, when to take a step, right? And what direction to go in. So let's pull one more card for insight and guidance that either pulls everything together or that is just an additional tidbit that we need to know. And we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is, I remember pulling this during another live, and like the image of this cup on here cracks me up. I don't know why. It just looks like a little creature. I'm kind of one of those people that can see, if you like are looking at like shadows or clouds or, patterns in nature or something, like to me, it's very easy, especially if I kind of squint my eyes a little bit to see a creature or a face or whatever. I know that there's a term for that. I don't remember what it is. But to me, this looks like a little robot creature instead of a cup, instead of a fancy cup. But the Queen of Cups is the ruler of the sensual side of life, our emotions, our going with the flow. And she is both giving and receiving in that energy. And so I feel like this card is first and foremost reminding us to go with the flow. But the cool thing about the flow is that it is not that you are the ship's captain on the boat, steering, the steering wheel, having to, maneuver around rocks or sticks or, the course of the river, nor are you the boat. You are not the boat on the river that is being driven. You are the river. That is what going with the flow is that you are the actual river that is flowing. And so there is a relaxing into that. There is a merging into that when we go with the flow and we realize that we are the flow, because we are the universe. We are the universe experiencing itself. And yes, we're unique and we're individual and we have our own lens and filters and viewpoints and all of that. But we stop resisting and creating that friction, flailing around, right, in the river when we really are the river. And there's something beautiful about the Queen of Cups energy where there is that understanding, right, of being the flow, but it is also the ebb and flow of giving, in that compassionate grace, unconditional love, acceptance, peaceful energy. But then it's also saying that as much as you can be a vessel for that, and then also a figurehead or the starting point of that energy, right? That you also are just as open to receive that energy as well, because it's not just a one directional flow. It is not just giving of yourself, running the well dry. The well has to also receive so that it can be this kind of continual flow of in and out, right? Or of, like tides, ebb and flow, right? We've got low tide, we've got high tide. And so I feel like this is a reminder that as we go through it as individuals, but supporting each other collectively as we go through these different shifts and changes, is to be kind to yourself and to be compassionate, with yourself and with others, to be helpful and to be kind, and soothing, healing, these kinds of things, with others, whether it's people that you know, people that you don't know. It's kind of like sending soothing energy to a situation instead of like throwing a bunch of gasoline on a fire, and it blowing up in everybody's face. But it is also, this is a reminder of being compassionate with yourself and letting yourself be open to help, be open to love, be open to healing from other people or from the universe or from nature, the trees, whatever it is. So your cup has to be filled before it is overflowing, and then you can give to others. So this is a reminder to take care of yourself and make sure that you are nurtured, fed, held in compassion, so that you can be that person for others as well. Because as you know, if you're always giving and you have shut off the flow to where you are not receiving, that wellspring is going to dry up, and you're going to be burnt out. You're going to be bitter. You're going to get sick, physically sick, whatever it is, because that's just not how it's supposed to work. Energy flows, and it is received, and it flows out, and it is just this beautiful, just like the infinity symbol. That's how it works. So let me pull one Moonology card here too. So I will pull. It jumped. Let's see. Let's see what jumped. New moon eclipse. Okay, sure. We'll go with this one. Why not? It jumped. So these cards have all different moon phases, and then also kind of like different moon phenomena. And we did have a new moon eclipse a couple months ago. And this says expect powerful change. And I feel like this card is speaking to whatever shifts and changes that you might be experiencing right now. Think back to the eclipses that we had a couple months ago. And it's like that was like the starting point. That was like pushing the button, to kind of like initiate us into these shifts and changes that are now starting to kind of come in. Think about what you focused on during the eclipses. And of course, we had the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, right? Bam, bam, right there in eclipse season. And so think about the energies that you were letting go of and burning away, and also what you were kind of calling in, what you said you were ready for, new, fresh energy. And the funny thing is that although we can sometimes try to have really organized plans and say, okay, this is how I'm going to do this, or this is how I see things happening, and this is, step A, B, C, D, all the way, right? Sometimes things happen differently. Sometimes we skip over a couple steps and end up taking a little meandering like side road, right? Sometimes things really shift and change to where the landscape does not look anything like how we thought things would go, right? And sometimes that can be really scary because we don't have control over it. We haven't, it's not like we haven't planned all the steps, So it can be scary. It can be frustrating. But just imagine if the universe, your higher self, are going, yeah, but this is so much more efficient. You said where you wanted to go, what you wanted to experience next. And like the plan you came out with was like kind of convoluted, and it was going to take a lot of time and effort and everything. And, we just, just want to present this opportunity to you because it kind of cuts out all the BS, right? It's like ripping the Band-Aid off really quick sometimes. So I commend you if you have been able to like really focus that intention, and put some energy in motion. But don't just freak out if it's just kind of happening a little differently than you thought it was going to, right? It means that your focus on your intention and what you wanted to bring about was pure and strong and, very focused. And then now it's our turn to kind of say, okay, I placed my order at the magical, order window of the universe. And now I'm just going to trust the process and let this unfold and see how amazing it is. Because when we don't get in our own way and we don't start like meddling and like telling the universe and our, all knowing higher vibrational, higher self, like, yeah, but this is the most logical way to do it, or this is how I anticipated that would happen. We don't get in the way of that, then things can actually like turn out even better than we imagined. It can unfold in a way that was like, wow, I'd never experienced that before. I didn't even know that was possible, but now it's here and I'm on track. This is what I wanted to bring in. And the powerful change as well. Of course, we know that new moons do work with the energy of reset, but we do have to let go of and make room for the new energies that we're wanting to bring in. So let's say that you've kind of been hoping and wishing, or maybe intending, doing magic, whatever it is, to bring in, a new opportunity, a different situation, whatever. And, you really are connected to that. But if you haven't also made room in your life for those new energies to come in, but the new energies are coming in regardless, it's going to have to move something else out of the way. And so sometimes when we do have loss or a shift or a change, we may be like, well, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted this great thing, and then now I'm losing these things. I've lost my job, or my car broke down, or I'm not friends with this person anymore, or whatever. But those things, that energy is being moved, like almost like tectonic plates, just kind of moving and shifting and settling back so that that's probably a really crappy example. But that's what I saw. Like the puzzle pieces and, everything kind of like moving and shifting, to be more cohesive and a better landscape for your life to unfold in this awesome new energy that you're calling in. So trust the process. If things feel really, really off, like completely off course, I think that it's still, this is maybe a diverting your path around something that could be an unknown obstacle or unforeseen pitfall or something like that. So things that are minor inconveniences or might seem like a large, a larger upset, I feel is really the most effective and efficient way to get you where you want to be on the other side. So yeah, I keep hearing like, trust the process. So yeah. All right. Anything else we want to know? Anything else we want to talk about? I think live chat is still on. I know I'm doing this on my phone. Love how it's angled. You can just see all of the ceiling above my head there on my phone. But if you all have any questions or comments while I'm on live, you can do so, and I will try to answer your questions for you. Otherwise, I'm going to end the live stream before 7, and then the people who hop on at 7 will be like, where'd she go? Why isn't she here? And then I'll upload this video, and then they'll know. So it's all good. My dog. Poor Rowan. He's so sweet, though. Rowan, one of my dogs, just wants to like lay right here on the rug next to me while I'm doing these. He just wants to hang out with me. All right. So if I don't see any questions or comments during the live, then I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. And then I might do a little bit of trying to figure out why YouTube Live is not working on my MacBook. So dumb. Or maybe I'll just give up for right now, and then I'll look at it soon. Maybe it's just today. It's just not working. I don't know. So anyway, I hope you all have a good week, and I will be at the shop tomorrow doing shop things, and I will see you next Wednesday around 7 o'clock. That's when I really try to go live. I was just trying to circumvent these technical weird energies that I'm dealing with right now. So hope you all have a good week, and I will see you on the flip side next Wednesday, 7-ish, maybe early, maybe later. We'll see. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.